defending the free market, and making the moral case for capitalism. The Justin Moore Show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin Moore Show, where we make sense of what's going on in this crazy, insane, out of control world. And it is insane, I tell you what. That is why I had to hit the high seas. That's why I was on a cruise. I just got back here. And let me tell you guys, this cruise was incredible. It was as you guys know, listeners of Tom Woods and Bob Murphy's podcast called Contra Cruise, this was the Contra Cruise. So I was on there along with about 80 to 90, something like that, people who also listen to Tom Woods and Bob Murphy's show. And it was just an awesome time. Basically what Tom and Bob did is they had, multiple sessions going on. Like the first 2 days we were at sea, so there were no stops. So we had, like two-hour sessions where we would meet. We do like little icebreaker things. We had, making impressions and, just there was like little fun and games and that sort of thing. And then there was, Bob gave a little lecture, talking about economics and that sort of thing. And Tom, he gave some lectures as well. Then they also did a live recording of the Contra Cruise podcast, which listeners of that show, you guys have already heard it. And also just talking about the ship here. The ship was huge. I come from a town of 1,000 people. Well, just on that cruise alone and staff, there were 1,000 staff on board. And then there's over 4,000 guests. You're looking at over 5,000 people on this cruise ship. Now, from hearing from people who have gone on multiple cruises, they're saying, yeah, this is one of the biggest ships that the Royal Caribbean has in their fleet. There's like 15 floors to this thing. There's water slides on it. I went on a few of them. Even there was hot tubs, swimming pools. There was a casino, and yes, the casino had blackjack and craps. I did play a little bit of blackjack. I think I came out a little bit ahead. Yes, it was fun, but I didn't play it that much. It kind of sucks playing blackjack and you don't get your complimentary drinks, But I just played that a little bit. But man, you go to the fifth deck of that ship, and it looked just like a mall. Actually, I posted the picture on Facebook. I mean, there's a load of shops. There's a few bars. Little clothing stores, which who's going to buy clothing on a cruise ship? It's like when you're walking through Vegas, going through some of those malls, and they're just these shops that, man, the clothes there are expensive, probably paying a couple grand just for a dang t-shirt. Who knows? That's not where I shop. I really don't give a damn, what I'm wearing. As long as it looks quasi decent, I'm not too concerned. And I'm not going to spend a few $1,000s on a shirt. I'd rather spend my money investing in this show, right, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, that's right. Now, this was my first cruise I had ever been on, and it's hard to get used to it. The back and forth. I mean, yeah, they have the stabilizers on the ship and everything, and when you're having dinner at night, it's not like you put a pencil on your table and it rolls back towards it. It's not that bad, but you can feel it when I got off, when I Cozumel, Mexico, or Costa Maya, or when I was in Honduras. When I'm off the ship, I still felt like I was on the ship. Things were going back and forth, and it was just really hard for me to operate at 100%. I couldn't do it. Now, there's some people who are part of the group, the Contra Cruise group, the Contra Cruise group, and they had been on a lot of cruises before, and it was no big deal. They seemed to adapt just fine. For me, a guy in Montana, we don't have too many ships moving around up here. I just had a difficult time with that. Now, would I go on another cruise? It's talking like Bob and Tom were talking like they probably would have another one next year, but right? They don't want to think about it at this moment. But I probably would. I would go again. Yes, absolutely, because just the group there, getting to meet like-minded libertarians, it was just an incredible time. What a great way to connect with all these individuals living all across the United States. There's even some guy from Denmark, New Zealand, Australia. There was, so it wasn't just from the United States. So just an awesome time. There's actually this guy, Adam, who was part of the group, and he had gone on loads of cruises before, and he made the comment that, the ship, he said it was kind of, mediocre, but he said, but like with the group, he's like, it's the best time he had ever had on a cruise ship. So, I mean, that is really important. You go some places, like for me, I went by myself, and like one of the stops, the first stop was Honduras, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do for the day. So I basically got off the boat. I'm walking around. I see some people from the group. I go over there. Oh, hey, what are you guys up to today? And they're like, we're thinking about maybe going snorkeling, and we're waiting for these two others. And hey, yeah, you can join us if you want. And we ended up going out snorkeling. We hired a driver. This driver, he stuck with us the entire day. He took us to wherever we wanted to go on the island in Honduras. And it ended up just costing us, when we split it 5 ways, it was $20 a person. I mean, to have a driver all day for $20 a person, that's not bad. So that was fun, getting to snorkel. It was like deep sea snorkeling, I guess, where you could look down. This water was so clear, I could look down over like 100 to 150 feet. There was one guy out there who had snorkeled before, and he went without a life jacket. After, I guess I was thinking we'd just be in like, 5-6 feet water. No. Yeah, sure, some places it was shallow, but most of it, you couldn't touch the ground. I mean, you're looking down, and then stuff starts just getting dark blue, and you don't know how deep that is. Oh, man. I've always kind of been afraid of the ocean, just thinking about, whales and stuff and sharks. It's really intimidating. But, it was just a really great experience, just getting to meet a bunch of like-minded libertarians, getting to, talk with Bob again. I got to meet Tom Woods for the first time. It's just great seeing those two guys. I mean, those two guys in the libertarian movement, they're big deals, oh man, I would strongly recommend, if they're doing this cruise next year, my audience, you guys need to come along. It is that great of a time. And there was even a live band there and they were libertarians. That they're not just the guys that were there in a band. They're actually from a bunch of different bands, but they all came together to perform. And then like Bob Murphy, he sang a few songs with the band. One of the songs was "Come Together" by the Beatles. They sounded really good. And a lot of these guys are from Nashville, which is where Bob used to be from until he moved to Texas, or he is now. But oh man, I have to tell you guys, I'm just so glad, just how well everything went. And it was just a unforgettable experience. And it's, something I definitely look forward to doing again. I just hope now maybe I'll be used to the ships so I can maybe, handle myself a little bit better. Cause that does kind of suck. You just don't feel like you're right at 100%. You don't have that energy you're used to having, you just, it just kind of sucks, but it's all good. And actually, one other thing before I stop talking about the Contra Cruise here. Every night after, we'd have dinner. We always had dinner at 5:30, and there was 2 formal nights. You had to wear like a suit, and oh man, they had lobster one night. Oh man, that was good stuff. Let me tell you. You guys can probably tell I kind of have a little bit of a cold right now, so I hope I don't lose my voice during this episode. I don't have any water near me, after we'd get done with dinner at night and, whatever, doing our own little thing, usually we'd go, there'd be a group of people going up to the 11th deck of the ship, which is where the swimming pools were at, the hot tubs. And then the one guy would have his guitar and they'd sing some songs, just talk. And so I'd go up there and just get into, connect with the group and just have a really good time. It was just awesome. That last night on the ship, we were out until 3 a.m., which is, it's way past my bedtime. But it was, I'm telling you guys, you need to go. And it just feels so much better. Like here I am in Montana. My friends, none of them are really, they're not libertarians. Most of my friends don't even give a crap about what's going on with current events. I'm serious. You could ask some of these people, some of my friends, like, hey, who's Jenny Yellen? They'd have no idea. They would think she's some sort of, is she a model? No, she's very far from a model, but okay, I'm getting some stuff from the group as I'm doing this episode right here. Okay, some little messages. I guess one other thing here in regards to the Contra Cruise, I was actually part of the karaoke contest. I made the finals, and yeah, as listeners of this show know, I like to do karaoke here around Billings, Montana, where I reside, and I just do it for fun. But yeah, on the cruise, I was part of the finals, and along with me in the finals, there was also Bob Murphy. He made the finals, and Jason, who is also part of the group. So there was 3 of us that made the finals. Now I Bob Murphy actually ended up taking third, which was awesome. He ended up getting like a few bottles of wine. He got a t-shirt and a hat, and I don't know what else he got. But it was pretty damn cool. And who would have thought Bob Murphy would sing Eminem? Yeah, he did. And he rocked the house, that's for damn sure. And the way they judged us, it was like we were doing American Idol. After we sang our song, there was a panel of 4 judges, and they critiqued us, and it was a little bit intimidating, and they judged us based on 3 criteria, which let's see if I can recall this correctly. Basically, obviously, it was judged based on how you sing the song. Are you decent? Are you good? And then they looked at, okay, how are you interacting with the audience? Are they loving it? And then thirdly, they're looking at, are you using the stage? Or are you just kind of standing in one place, like you're a freaking statue, So that's what they looked at. And yeah, Bob Murphy took third place. And Jason, he took, and he sang Bust a Move. And he's really good at that. He really gets into it. He definitely used the stage. I can't remember if he took 4th or 5th. But then I held up the rear and I took 6th in the karaoke finals. I sang Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by Elton John. Now, okay, let me first say here, I made a mistake singing that song. I thought originally, because before they started anything, they're like, okay, you got to write down your song. Once you put your song down, you can't take it back. You're stuck with it. Well, I kind of thought, okay, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. That's a song it's really tough to sing. At the very end of the song, you have to hit these really high notes. I thought maybe I'd get some credit for trying to sing a hard song. Turns out, no, that was not the case at all. So I made a huge mistake singing that song. And also, I had some problems. I knew I was kind of screwed before the contest even started, because at dinner, which was at 5:30, for the first time, I decided to have 2 starters and 2 main course entrees. So I felt bloated. And for anyone out there who sings, you sing a lot better when you're on an empty stomach. And here I was feeling I was like a bloated fat man, and so I shouldn't have tried to sing a hard song anyway. I know there's a guy in the group that I think he recorded me singing, so I'll have to talk to him so I can get the copy. But it was a lot of fun, and it was, I had an amazing time. It was so great to be part of that. And just like how many people were packed into that room. There must have been 200-300 people. There's only, all the tables were taken, and there was a bunch of people standing in that room. I mean, it was so packed. It was so awesome. The energy levels in that room. And actually, after I sang my song, this one lady's like, "Hey, Justin," she's like, "You should be on The Voice." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, very funny," but who knows? There's some people, that's the kind of thing too, with judges anyway. It's subjective, right? It's, do you sing songs that they like? It all just depends. And I know I didn't give my best performance of that song anyway, especially being bloated. And okay, I don't want to make, Justin, you're making excuses, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Yeah, but I should have sang a lot easier song. I should have sang Your Song by Elton John. That's a song I can nail just about every time. But Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, that's always an iffy one. I was taking a huge gamble with that song, and it turns out that gamble did not work out at all. And the guy who won, see, this is what's the most frustrating part. And you go talk to Bob Murphy, go talk to Jason. They'll say, okay, that was rigged. That's what everybody will say. Go talk to anybody that was there. Go talk to him. And he sang Neon Moon, which is a country song, which for any of you out there who sing karaoke, singing country songs, they're the easiest songs you can sing. Neon Moon? That's an easy song. And he even screwed that up. And then after he won, they had all of us that were on the stage, all of us finalists, which was like, 8 of us. We sang Sweet Caroline, which actually used to be my jam before I started singing Elton John songs. But here was the guy who had his volume turned up the most on his mic, was the winner. And I heard him singing Sweet Caroline, and it was horrible. And it made himself look bad, so whatever. But, it was all in good fun anyway, and, okay, you won a few bottles of wine and that sort of stuff. But it was just so fun, as I said, just to be part of that moment. And, I love singing karaoke anyway. It's so weird to say. Like, it sounds so stupid, but it is. It's a lot of fun, just singing a few songs and, testing out new ones. And it was awesome to have an audience like that. And actually, every time they had karaoke night on the ship, they streamed it all to all the TVs in every single room on the cruise ship. And I remember as I was walking up the stairs, whatever, it's like I'd hear people whispering, "Oh, that's the guy that sings karaoke," yada yada yada. But no, congratulations to Bob Murphy for taking third, and Jason, he did awesome too. So yeah, when I can get a copy of that video, I'll see if I can post that up on YouTube or something. Yeah, we'll see how that all turned out. But guys, here I am. I'm repeating myself, but you need to go on the Contra Cruise next year if they do have it. It is, it's a little pricey to go, but actually if you go and you split a room with somebody, it's a lot more affordable. There are some drink packages available, so you could basically drink unlimited for the entire week if you want, which I recommend probably not drinking all that much while you're on a cruise ship, because I can't imagine that those hangovers are probably the worst you'll ever have. Oh yeah, one other thing, man, we're doing the laser tag, and Bob and Tom were both doing it as well. There's a group of us in the group, and I have to tell you, here we are in Mexico in Cozumel. The humidity, that was killer. I mean, it's like 80 some degrees out, and that humidity, we're kind of like in the jungle like area and shooting people with the little laser guns. And we did like 2 hours straight of laser tag. I mean, I'm just some guy from Montana. I'm used to the dry heat, and right now in Montana, it's like in the 60s, and just taking that in. Oh man. Then when I went and visited the Mayan ruins, walking around and just, I tell you, I don't know how you guys do that humidity stuff. I really don't. I'm glad to come back to Montana and just enjoy this nice coldness, So, I mean, just so much fun to be had. And even Bob and Tom made the comment that the group and the amount of fun they had exceeded their expectations. And just and they've made comments just how everybody how well we all worked together. And, it was just a really great group of people, coming together from all walks of life. There's people who are, pilots who are part of the group, or a lot of them were software engineers. Heck, I even met one of the guys that was part of the group, was from Bozeman, Montana, just an hour and a half from where I'm at. So that was actually pretty cool. I was not expecting to see anyone else from Montana on the cruise, but it was, oh man, guys. But I'm so glad to be back though. Being gone for 10 days, that's long enough for me. It's a long time to kind of be on vacation. It's kind of hard for me to kind of settle down during a vacation anyway, and I have a hard time relaxing. But when I was gone, I hope you guys enjoyed my interviews with John Hunt and Doug Casey. I really enjoyed having those guys on the show. You know what, guys? I was actually thinking when I was doing this episode, I was going to talk about the Contra Cruise in the very beginning, and then I was going to, try to segue into the presidential debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, the final debate. But I'm already running close to 18 minutes, and I haven't even talked about the debate yet. You know what? I think I should just release that episode next week. So let's just make this episode all about the Contra Cruise. You guys need to go next year. Just think about this too. I made the comment to some of the people that were part of the group. Here we are, we're connecting with like-minded people. And just think about the synergy. Like, what could happen from this? You start these groups with people with similar mindsets and similar solutions to the problems that we see in the United States today. I think that's a great way just to start a community and to do big things. When we can work together, I mean, you just talking with people in that group, there's such a variety of, different talents. People have different strengths. And that's what's so beautiful about, embracing the individual, right? Instead of the collective. Because each individual, we all have our own unique abilities. And if we can pursue those things that we have a comparative advantage in compared to other people, well, then think of how much more we can get accomplished. And as libertarians, why should we just be duplicating and all trying to, do the same thing, whatever. But if we can come together and, share and bounce ideas off each other and help each other out and just, get this movement really going. And that's one other thing I really got just being around this group of people and just going to Freedom Fest. And I told you guys this before. A lot of libertarians I met, the very successful libertarians, they are so down to earth people. And here they are just so wildly successful too. And that's the exact same way with Bob Murphy, Tom Woods, just a lot of these guys. And I think that you can have a lot more effect on somebody if you're a lot more down to earth than being an arrogant, like a Paul Krugman, like, oh yeah, I'm way better than all y'all's. You listen up, let me tell you how it is, So who knows? I'm pretty dang sure that, Bob Murphy and Tom Woods probably will have this cruise next year, based on the overwhelming success that this cruise had, the very first Contra Cruise. And so guys, you know what? Start putting your little pennies in a piggy bank and save your money up. Let's plan on going on the Contra Cruise next year. Let's grow this group. Let's take over that ship. What do you say? You know what? I agree. So guys, with that said, let's just end this episode here. And we need to, as a group, figure out a way. We need to grow this libertarian movement. Liberty is the answer. And also, like talking with people at dinner, I made the point, and I brought this up on my show before, that I think with so many libertarians, like they always think they have to be the smartest guy in the room. You don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't care about being the smartest guy in the room. Actually, you know what? When I was on the Contra Cruise sitting in that little room, I was probably the dumbest guy in the room. You know how I felt? I felt okay. All right? So you don't need to prove that you're right, that you're the smartest guy. You don't. And I made this point too when I was at dinner with some people. Because we always, at dinner, we got to change places. So we were never sitting with the same people at dinner. So it was a way to meet different people from the group, that sort of thing. So that was fantastic. But I made the point that, okay, so on top of libertarians, we don't have to think we're the smartest around. Because, that's really arrogant to think anyway, right? But also, we need to, when we go to talk to someone, say we're talking to a socialist. Remember, guys, when I brought up when I was doing karaoke in Montana and I was talking with a socialist girl? Well, I think we need to, when we think we're trying to persuade someone, don't expect to, oh yeah, I'm talking to this person, I'm going to change their mind. Do not have that mindset. You don't need to try to change their mind right there on the spot. All you want to do, just plant seeds. Keep their mind open. Don't insult them. Have respect for their opinions. When, like for example, when I'm talking to conservatives, hey, I understand. I used to be with you. Legalizing drugs sounded insane. Like that's crazy talk. That's, one over the cuckoo nest sort of thing, But when you explain it to them, like it really doesn't sound that crazy, right? And when you do your homework, prohibition, actually, there's more negatives to prohibition than there are positives. How did Al Capone become so powerful? Because alcohol was illegal, and that's where he got his income. Well, how did the drug cartels get their income? Because drugs are illegal. There's so many different arguments you can make in the economics of prohibition, and Mark Thornton's written a book on that. And so that's what I boil it down to. If you really want to try to persuade someone, keep their mind open. Just plant seeds. And, maybe they'll come back. Maybe there's one thing you say that just really gets them to like, whoa, I'd never thought about it that way. And as long as you didn't insult them, they might be open to it. Like, wow, they might be right. And, there's so many people that pick on the millennials. Like, oh, they're just a bunch of socialists. You know what? I think they're lean a lot more socialist because they don't understand an alternative. So we as libertarians, we as libertarians who have done our homework, we've read a plethora of books out there on economics and current events. We understand how the free market works. This is how we can expose them to our ideas and possibly persuade them. But don't, as I said, I have to reiterate that point. We don't need to try to persuade them on the spot. It will take time. And just look back at your own journey. Where did you come from? Did you all of a sudden just, oh, yeah, the free market is great. Capitalism, that is the way to go. Socialism is a bunch of BS. It makes us all worse off. The government screws up everything it touches. No, you didn't just come to that overnight. It took time. It took a process. I can tell you in my own journey. It's not like I just had one mentor that just woke me up. It was many different people. It was one person who led me to free market economics, and it was Tom Woods who introduced me to Austrian economics, and then reading books. I just bounced around, and I slowly came around to where I am today. So it's just a process. So we need to respect that with other people who don't think like us. And so, with that, guys, let's just conclude right there. And I I just really thank you guys for listening. And I know I didn't really get into any topics today, talking about all the crap going on in the world. I didn't talk about the debate. I did watch the third presidential debate. Let's just save that for next week. Even though I'm going to be way behind in the news, it's okay. We're going to get to it. It's going to be all right. So guys, in the meantime, if you want to help support me out here on the Justin Moore Show, just go to my website, justinmooreshow.com. Moore is spelled M-O-H-R. You can make your Amazon purchases through my website. It costs you nothing extra. You just click on that little link. That link takes you right to Amazon's homepage. And any purchases you make, I get a small commission back. It costs you nothing extra. And then also, heck, you could donate to me via PayPal. I have a little PayPal widget right on there on my website, as longtime listeners of this show know. You make a donation over $50, I send you my bonus episodes. Yeah, my behind-the-scenes interview with Keith Weiner and my Secrets to Vegas episode. I tell you how to save hundreds and hundreds of dollars when you travel to Vegas. And if you plan on going to Freedom Fest next year in July like I do, I will literally save you hundreds of dollars. Just last year, if you went to Freedom Fest, I would have saved you over $500. Just with hotel, I tell you to get nights comp free, all sorts of good stuff. So with all that said, I'm done promoting. You just, pick and choose your poison here. I'm going to be back next week. I'm going to talk about that presidential debate. I'll tell you what the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are up to. And I'll talk with all you guys next week, and I'm looking forward to it. This is Justin Moore, signing off.